Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Kasa Podcast. There's your boy Kojo in the building. I got super excited today. I just jump started the show before even the show started, but I'm here and I've got some people in the house. I'm not going to play that joke again. And today we're going to be talking about interests. Interests, your personal interest, or your partner's interest, or your friend's interest, or your family member's interest. Sometimes interests can get in the way. So we're going to have a conversation around when the interests don't align. And like I said, I have Chris and Ifeanyi boy in the house. And I know their interests align with mine today. So we're going to have a good conversation on interest. But just in case they don't, how are you guys doing?
Uh, I'm doing great.
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay. Chris, how are you doing?
I'm okay.
Good, good. We're going to be talking about interest, but before we do, I think Ifeanyi Yeboah has to be sanctioned, Chris.
For what?
Today, I wore my Kasa hoodie. Chris wore his Kasa shirt. Ifeanyi Yeboah just decided to look gorgeous and not put on the Kasa shirt.
No,
No
no,
Kasa
no,
merch.
no. That's not what happened.
Okay.
You guys could have told me that, oh, today we are wrapping Casa on Casa.
We
And
we
then I'll
didn't meet
wear.
and have a meeting. We just, it's you have to be
Then the
you have to
interest did not align.
no, you have to tune into the spirit. You have to be
Which spirit?
connected to the Kasa spirit. You're not connected to the tribe. You
Oh my
ah.
God.
But yeah, today your interest is not aligning with ours. But I love the hair. You're looking amazing. You're looking
Thank you.
amazing. And Chris, you're looking amazing too. I like the minion in your background.
I was just about to talk about it. Is that your
Say
bestie or what?
say hello to my minion.
Your minion,
Hello.
eh?
Yeah.
So minions come from the movie Despicable Me. I don't know if you're despicable or I don't know. Are you despicable?
No, I'm not.
Well, let's get into this interest conversation. And by the aligning of interest, guys, there's so many things happening around. I know the Premier League is about to come on. Soccer is
Yep.
about to come back. I know a couple of shows are going to be on TV very soon. A couple of events are going to be happening. It's almost fall. The summer is almost over. People are going
Yep.
to be going to school. People are going to be getting back into activity, going back to school, schoolwork, academics, and all that. And sometimes these interests, our passions, our hobbies, and the things we like to enjoy get in the way of our relationships with others. Sometimes these interests get us in trouble, right? For
Mm-hmm.
example, if you're a soccer lover and you love the Premier League and you love watching Manchester United play, sometimes you can make commitments to your friends, your partners, your family. Hey, I'm going to be here on this day to do this for you. Then Manchester United loses and it drains all your energy, and you don't go do that, right? Or this game doesn't go how it's supposed to, like something comes up and you're not able to honor your commitments. At that point, your interests start taking center stage and they start causing problems. Now, the conversation we're going to have is going to be from several angles, right?
Mm-hmm.
First, I want to know if you guys have ever been in a place where your interest and your partner's interest or your friend's interest or your family's interest did not align. Just if you have, tell us about it. And please, no soccer stuff. Man, you is just for me. So let me start with Yaiwa. Have you ever been with, had friends or a partner or
Mm-hmm.
family that, had interest that started creating problems? May not have been a problem at the beginning, but the more they delved into that, the more they got to enjoy that interest, the more
Mm-hmm.
it became a problem.
I think it was actually a problem from the beginning,
Mm-hmm.
and then as time went on, it got better. So, it was. I like doing outdoor activities. Like
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a stay home kind of person. I just like to
Mm-hmm.
do random things.
Mm.
And then this other person just wants to chillax, relax, watch a movie. Like, and I feel that is boring.
Mm.
But in the beginning it was a big issue. Like
Mm-hmm.
on weekends you want to go out and do something,
Mm-hmm.
just go to the park, go and be out there, and this person wants to stay inside.
Mm-hmm.
So gradually we just found a way to make it
To
work.
make it work.
Yes. So
Nice.
then we had to balance it. So if this weekend you're going to stay indoors, next weekend you're going to do what you
Mm.
like that, one by one. But in the beginning it was hell. It was really bad.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And that's a good setup for the conversation because we're going to learn how you guys made it work because it's more important because it's
Hmm.
going to happen to everyone at a point, right? With some
Yeah.
of your relationships, either your interest may get in the way or your partner's interest would get in the way. But if you guys were able to make it work, now you were coming for the source. You have to teach us the way idolo. You have to show us how you people did it. But Chris, have you ever been in such a spot and how, like, tell us about it?
Um, well, I haven't really been in. Okay, it wasn't really a big deal. I would say mine was like the opposite of if yes.
Mm-hmm.
So this person liked like going out all the time,
Okay.
like nightlife and all
Mm-hmm.
that. And
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I just want to rest at night. So um, I don't know, some way somehow the friendship had to end.
Oh,
Oh.
Yeah, because I was not having it at all.
okay.
Yeah.
And it's interesting. I like how the setup has been. If was able to talk through this and make it work, find a compromise. Chris was on the other side. It didn't work. We and I want us to start off the conversation that way, that both outcomes are acceptable outcomes.
Yeah.
When certain interests get to a certain point and the strain it's putting on the friendship, on the relationship, is just too big. It's just impossible to reconcile. It's okay to take a step back. If Yah did it and she's here, Chris took a step back and he's here. You're
Sabat.
not, it's not going to be the end of the world. I know sometimes at the time when we're navigating that, when we're going through that, it feels like, man, I have to make this decision this way or it's going to, that's the end of life.
Yeah.
Clearly it's not. But then we're going to dive into the conversation a little more. We're going to dig a bit more deep into one. I want us to look at it from the perspective of the person with the interest. I really, because I'm a big proponent of being self-aware, being aware when your actions are causing pain, your actions are causing, being that aware of your actions is very important. So let's suppose from the angle of the person with the interest, say I like fishing, and now I'm fishing at 3 a.m. in the morning, and now that's becoming an issue. One, how do we realize this? What are some of the cues we can pick up from our partners, from our friends, from the people we're interacting with to know that these things are going wrong? Before I come for my answers, let me quickly go through some of the comments because the people are in the building. Mr. Song is in the building. Song is saying, hi, everyone. You're welcome. Hi, Song. I hope you're doing very well. Rashid is in the building. Rashid is,
Hey.
Rashid, the brother, Rashid. I'm always happy to see Rashid on the show. Whenever I see a comment from Rashid, I know that, yeah, the show has started. Rashid said, I believe only Chris's interest aligns with yours. You both have the Kasa merch on, and Efia decided to slay for the Boo Hive. Hi, guys. Hi, Rashid. It looks like this Boo
Funny.
Hive thing is really picking up. But yeah, Efia is slaying as always. And if you're listening to the audio, you should really check out the YouTube channel and see how Ifya slays on the show. Like, she takes the show to the next level. Like, when we cook the sauce without Ifya, I mean, it's there, but she just comes and takes it to the World Cup final. Like, she takes it,
Okay.
So keep slaying for us. Well, okay, but I'm not joining this Boo Hive thing, please.
We don't need you,
Hey,
please. We don't
Song
want
is
you there.
saying, Song is saying, click that like button and the share button. Absolutely, you can drop a like on this video. And guys, let's try and do something. Let as a tribe, all of us, let's all try to do something. I've been looking at our videos, our recent videos, and I've never seen us hit the 100 like button. We always get more people watch the show, but we don't get the likes. Let's try and put some likes on this one. Let's try and see if we can get 100 likes on the show. So on this particular one, if you're in the building, please drop a like on this one and just invite your friends to just like this one. Let's see if we can get to 100, because for the 100th episode, if we get 100 on all the episodes leading to the 100th episode, we really have to give away some of the Kasa merch. Some of these hoodies and some of those shirts must go. We have to, and I
Yeah.
know Rashid got his own. I know Song got his own. But if you're on here and you've not received yours yet, please let us know, and we'll find a way to get you your Kasa merch. Humphrey is in the building. Humphrey, welcome back. Last week we cooked a lot of sauce with you, and today we're happy you're here. Tell us, and if you're in the comment section, let us know if you've ever been in a relationship where your interest or your partner's interest started getting in the way of things. Tell us about it and tell us how it ended or how you navigated it. But Chris, since yours didn't work out, let's go to Ifya. Ifya, how do you first recognize that your actions, your interests are getting in the way? What are some of the telltale signs?
I think when you notice your actions is making the other person uncomfortable, or
Mm,
the person has to always talk about, your action, the thing you do, then
mhm,
you realize, okay, maybe I'm overdoing it.
mm,
Because
mm,
should be told, in as much as we talk about self-awareness,
mhm.
sometimes you just don't
Don't
realize
notice.
that,
Mhm,
yeah, your actions is like affecting the other person.
mm,
And usually sometimes too, I won't lie, we get selfish or self-centered. That
mhm,
not selfish, self-centered. Like, it's all about what you enjoy, and you forget
mm,
to have another person in the picture that you have to consider
mm,
when you're doing certain actions.
mm,
So the easiest way is when the person start complaining about your actions, right?
mm.
That, oh, maybe you're doing this too much, or this is a problem, or something like that.
I
That
see.
is that is the easiest for me. Then I'm like,
Okay.
okay, let's talk about it.
Okay.
Then you take it from there.
Chris, how do we know? How do we notice? What are some of the signs?
Yeah, I think the first sign is talking about like complaining,
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
and the second thing it's usually things like that affects maybe other things. It
Mm-hmm.
brings up maybe drifts,
Mm-hmm.
maybe the friendship gets some
Get.
way, gets
Mm-hmm.
weird. You
Mm-hmm.
guys don't talk that much, or
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I mean the vibe is not there.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Once you start feeling the vibe go off, guys, I have a certain idea. I don't know if this works, but it's just coming from the comedy bit. If you notice that, you must be that. And I'm going to set it up this way. If you have to apologize for missing 3 or more commitments for that one thing, that particular one thing being the reason why you've had to apologize for missing 3 or 4 engagements, it must be a problem. So it's a litmus. If say your love for soccer is a thing, and you
Mm-hmm.
missed your nephew's birthday party because you were watching soccer and you had to apologize for it, and you missed your dad being in the hospital, you couldn't go see him because of soccer, it must be a problem. If you missed an exam because you were so down that Manchester United lost,
Oh,
it
that is
must be a problem.
extreme. That's
Yes, I
extreme.
know. But if you start apologizing for something, honey, why were you not able to do this? Oh, I'm so sorry. I went fishing with the guys. Okay. The next weekend, honey, can you help me out with the grass? I will. I got it. Honey, why is the grass looking? Oh shoot, I went fishing with the friends. Like at that point, you should know that it is becoming a problem. So that's one of
Mm-hmm.
the like if you're someone who takes stock and you like to make up for the things you miss. If you are someone who likes to say sorry, if you're saying
Yeah.
sorry for the same thing over and over again, that is one sign. That's one sign I can think about. That's a very important clue. Even if your partner doesn't bring it up, if you have to keep making excuses for this same action, your interests are becoming a problem. That's what I
Yeah.
think. Anyway, do you have any more signs? Any more signs on the wall?
I don't think. I think we've said it all.
Okay.
Honestly, I think we've said it all.
Hmm.
Because what else could you really tell if it's becoming a problem?
Okay, let me see if this one also helps. So I've talked about repeatedly, like repeated offense is always a problem, and that's with one person.
Mm-hmm.
If you're repeatedly offending multiple people for the same thing, it must
Uh,
be a problem. You had to say sorry to your mom for you not being able to pick up the groceries. You had to say sorry for your dad for not being able to help him out with something. You had to say sorry for your girlfriend for not for this particular one thing. It's become that so it becomes the center of your world, and this is how interests become an issue.
yeah.
Sometimes there's the interest and there's the world. There are people, there are friends, there are commitments, there are the things we do. Once you start taking some time from your relationships, from your friends, from the things you're supposed to be doing, and investing in something, and you're
Mm-hmm.
constantly saying sorry to everybody, to everybody. And I'll use a one of it's not a vice per se. Drinking, for instance. if you're cutting everybody off because you're liking to drink too much, you should know that at that point, yeah, maybe it's just a glass of whiskey and it used to be good, but now you're drunk too much that you can't even pick up the phone when your friends call. Now that's becoming a
Yeah.
problem. So when you're saying sorry to multiple people for this one interest you have, say video games, and I would use video games because it's one of the ones people fall in a lot.
Yeah.
Like it's a trap that you're not able to do the things you're supposed to do. You're not able to go where you're supposed to go. You're not able to even have meaningful conversations with people because you're so zoned in, especially the ones on the phone. Like, people always on it becomes a problem. Yeah. So Twitter and being on social media can be a thing, but if you're apologizing to everybody because you got sucked into a TikTok time hole and then you lost 5 hours, then it must be a problem.
Yeah.
An Instagram reel.
Instagram
You
reels, those
spend
ones
five
get
hours on
you.
Instagram reel.
Yeah.
Watching reels, and then you're like, oh, I was supposed to have dinner with this person. I forgot.
Oh my god, you forgot dinner because of reels.
Yeah, people
That's a
do that.
problem. I
People
know.
do that.
I know, but these are some of the ways you can tell, right? But now, after telling, being able to identify the problem is only half the problem. How do we go about it? If we're the offending party, what are some of the ways to fix the issue?
Hmm.
Chris, let me start with Chris this time. Chris, if we offend people, if we know our interests are getting in the way, when our interests are not aligning with everybody around us, what are some of the steps we can take?
I think the first step will be acknowledging that there's a problem.
Mm, mm,
Yeah.
mm,
If we are not able to identify, or I mean, accept
Accept.
that there's a
Yeah.
problem,
mm,
then there's no starting
Then that's
point.
the starting
mm,
point.
Yeah.
mm,
So
mm,
we need to first identify the problem, accept that this is a problem,
mhm,
and then if it's a partner or a very close friend, best friend or something,
mhm,
I think if the person is offended, the person will, you can talk it out with the person,
mm,
or take a step back and try to figure out how to compromise, or
mm.
maybe schedule your interest in such a way that it's not going to
Be in
be
the
of
way.
yeah, be in the
Mm,
way of your relationship with others.
mm. You've
Yeah,
said quite a few things, right? Acknowledge it and then make efforts to change. Take steps
yeah,
to change. Sometimes
Mhm.
some people are great at acknowledging something, and the comment came in, right? Rashid said, "I believe saying sorry without changing your behavior is just you really saying, well, that's me. Deal with it." And that's
Yeah.
one thing I disconnect from. And a lot of people do disconnect from it. If you're constantly saying sorry. So I agree with Chris. First, acknowledge it, but acknowledging something. Oh, this house is on fire. Yes, you've acknowledged it. And sitting there and letting the house burn and doing nothing. Yeah, acknowledging it
Hmm.
is. So I definitely side with you on that one. Taking steps to find some redress, right? To address the issues. Facts, Chris, Rashid is saying. First step to solving any problem is realizing or admitting there is a problem. It is crucial. And I think in most rehab processes, knowing that you have a problem and seeking help is it's the first step. And that's the only way you get better. And so when your interests start becoming that demigod in your life, acknowledging it and taking the steps to prevent it is a good thing. AY, what are some of the ways you would go about it?
Well, I think as for me, as Chris said, if you admit it, you have a conversation. That's for me how I deal with things. Like we are going to talk about it. So, what about me having to, you know, go for jumping ropes or playing volley outside as a problem?
Mm,
Oh, maybe I don't get to spend time with you, and then we have to all bring our reasons why this is not helping on the table,
mhm,
and then we exploit, because sometimes, right, people have problems with what you do, not because it's a bad thing, but because they can't get their way.
mm,
That
mm.
is what I realize. It's just because they can't get to do what they want to do with you,
Okay.
and so it looks as if what you're doing is bad.
Mhm,
It could be, a very simple thing, like, as I said, playing, going out swimming or something. but then the person is like, oh well, I don't get to, spend a lot of time with you, and so I think this activity we have to work around it. So for me, how to solve the problem is, after you identify it, you really sit and then everybody brings
Mm,
their point on the table.
okay.
Why is this wrong, and why shouldn't I do it this way?
Hmm.
And so that way it's easier for both of you to understand.
So
Okay.
so okay. I'm finished that.
Oh no, it's just, I was just going to say that. So then you all have a perspective where each party is coming from. So I do this because I get depressed when I'm indoors and I watch TV, or my head aches, so I just
Hmm.
have to go outside.
Interesting.
And so if a person knows why you do it, right, they will probably understand, or you find a common ground.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Great. So I think yours is just layering on top of what Chris said, acknowledging it and having a conversation about it.
Hmm.
And Amanda sent in something, and it's just so beautiful. She's like, sometimes talking about it turns it into a bigger issue. I sometimes pretend nothing has happened and rather start acting right. And that's beautiful and that's powerful, right? Sometimes, yes, talk
Ow,
about
wait, I'm lost.
I'm going to sometimes talk about it. But sometimes you realize your football is getting in the way. Don't come and tell me. Don't talk to me. Show me. I start changing my action. I miss the next game and I miss it on purpose to be able to spend time with the people I care about. Because yes, sometimes if you talk about it, it's good. But sometimes words can be empty. And the conversation
No,
goes.
but I think that is one step people like to miss when we say words are empty. I understand it's cheap. Everyone can talk and say what they want to say. But then if I'm going to hold you onto something or hold you accountable, is what you say. I'm going to do this, and then you don't
Yeah.
do it. I'm like, you did not you said you do this and you didn't do this.
So
If
I
you're going
think
to
that
keep
was
quiet about it and like, oh, let me just act right, and in the person's head I'm acting right, but to me the person isn't acting right, the person will be like,
no, no,
I'm
no.
trying to
AY,
act right.
one second. And that's where I was going with it, right? You change your actions, right? And then you can have that conversation. Normally, people want to have the conversation now. Like while the person is upset. Okay, let's talk about this. Let's talk about sometimes no. Like take a step back, change your ways. If you did better, you can even bring it up. I know in the past couple of weeks I have been this way. And that's why I've been making up, right? And that's why, the last 2 weeks I've been trying and I'm going to keep doing better. If you see me, straying off the path,
That is an
it,
issue.
it,
First of all,
you,
Kojo,
you didn't
if
you didn't let me finish.
if
AY
no,
just keeps jumping in.
no. First of all, if what I'm doing, right, we don't understand where each other is coming from,
Mhm.
let me know why you do what you, maybe I'm just being self-centered. I want you all for myself. I want you to make time for me. I want you to do,
Yeah,
but
that's where
that particular thing you are doing, it has some benefit to you. It
that's
might have
where
its cons, but if you talk about it, right, we're able to bring certain things into our attention, what I'm missing and what he's missing, or what I'm missing, what my friends are missing. We put it on the table, and then we all move. If individual want to, you know, do their own thing, okay, I think this is wrong. Let me do the right thing. In your head, you are doing the right thing, and it's probably the worst. Like it's
But
not even
if you,
close to
I
it.
don't know if you, Chris, you had something to say. I'd come
yeah, I'm
back.
saying what if I was saying that's what can escalate the issue or make the problem even bigger
A
because
big issue. That's
both
what we're trying to avoid.
both parties will try to argue their case of why I'm doing this.
That
Try
is
to
not that's
justify.
my issue, right? Having conversation is not trying to have an argument or somebody
It can
trying to
get to that
win.
level
It
when
It
when
can.
could,
it
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 could.
can.
I
can.
agree.
Yeah.
I agree. But imagine if I'm doing something wrong. Okay,
Mhm.
let me use myself an example. And then it's brought to my attention that, oh, if you like going out a lot, then I'm like, okay, let me find something to do. Let me try and not go out. I'll stay indoor and be moody. Am I helping solve the issue?
But you're not listening to what Amanda is saying, and at least where we're coming from. Sometimes
Mm-hmm.
bringing up these issues, trying to talk about it, especially when your actions have offended people or hurt people in a way, that reason why you did it, that sometimes it's not important. Nobody cares. why you did what you did. It's what you did and how it affected them. So if your friend really needed you to help with something and you had an interest in something and you're like, okay, I have realized that again, if it's from your perspective, the person who is doing the action,
Mm-hmm.
you then initiating the conversation. Come, let's talk about it. Let me give you my reasons why. Sometimes, not all the time, sometimes can be very insensitive. And so sometimes Amanda is saying, talking about it, maybe even the people you hurt, there are a lot of times people do certain actions. The action itself is annoying and you may not like it. But sometimes when you find out the reason why they did it, it makes it even worse. It makes it a big issue. Yes, you missed an appointment with me. Like, yes, you were supposed to pick me up from the airport. You didn't pick
Mm-hmm.
me up. That's bad. Friends don't do that. But come to find out, oh man, I was fishing and I lost track of time. Dude, that becomes worse. And so instead of explaining, instead of using your lips to tell people, Amanda is saying sometimes just cool off, pretend nothing happened, change your actions, show people better. Now, the last thing you've left in people's mind is this guy is not reliable. Be reliable, be there when they need you. And then maybe down the line, we can have that conversation. Providing a justification as to why you were not there doesn't make you there. It doesn't
Oh,
make you do
I'm
those
not
things.
coming from that angle. I'm talking
Mhm,
about having different interests
mhm,
and spending time doing that, like somebody playing video games, right? And spending all their time doing that. I'd be like, that is inconsiderate and all that, but I don't know why the person is doing it. I might
mhm,
hate the reason why the person is doing it. But if I am able to, I sort of sometimes want to see the perspective to which people are thinking from,
mm,
because for me, I can be self-centered. No, I'm not really self-centered person, but it's hard for me to put myself in people's shoes. I can't do that. So if I have to think for myself and assume somebody, if I'm assuming things for somebody, it's probably worse. Like it will be, I'll not think of the positive thing
mm.
firsthand.
I think again, I still think your perspective is from the someone is doing something to you. We're trying to start from
No, I'm doing
your
something to
actions.
someone.
Yeah. So now, okay, so you are doing something
Mm-hmm.
that you've realized. Again, you have realized is a problem. Maybe the person hasn't even said anything.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're going to be like, let's have a conversation about this thing I am doing that is obviously harming our relationship. Like, come sit. Like that is where we're coming from. Sometimes people don't want to hear it. What if you start and the person
Okay.
is like, listen, it's whatever, and they walk away? You're not
Mm-hmm.
communicating, right? They still think of you as that person who would ditch them and serve your own self-interest, right?
I
And so it's
understand.
only sometimes, again, it's when you are the person whose interest is getting in the way. I really don't want us to lose track, because the way we approach them
Mm-hmm.
from both sides of the coin is very
Very
important.
different.
When you're the person who has hurt people, who's offended people, who's the way you approach it, honestly, and there's no winning position. Like if you're the one who, like you're negotiating from a vulnerable position. Your actions is the thing that's the issue. Your action is the reason we're going to have this conversation. So you
Mm-hmm.
don't call people to the table. You don't be like, come sit down, let's have a conversation. No, 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 no. And so Amanda is like, sometimes, even to buy yourself that audience, why should they care? Why should they listen? Like to some
Mm-hmm.
people, your excuses are just words. So
Mm-hmm.
you go about by changing your ways, changing the thing that you did that offended people, and then maybe sometime after some time, you're like, listen, I know you people thought I was unreliable.
Yeah.
I know you people didn't think I would come pick you up from the airport, but I'm still your guy.
Mm-hmm.
You can trust me. Rather than you missed picking me up from the airport, you come to my house and you come to explain. Like, no, I, we're not having that is not what's happening, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Oh
I think,
yeah, definitely,
yeah.
definitely.
So,
No, that is not what is happening. I
mhm,
mean, if anything, I hate excuses, but I don't think you guys really understand. Maybe
mhm,
with time you understand where I'm coming. It's not like coming
okay,
to explain or call audience or say, let's have a conversation, right? But I would explain later. Let's just
okay.
go
There's some
along.
comments coming in, right? Humphrey saying, I agree with Chris, but it takes self-awareness, as in being
Mhm.
conscious or
That's true.
present enough to notice when your interest is in the way.
That's
Absolutely.
true.
Humphrey, we completely agree. And that's why we're starting with the toughest part. It's so easy to see when other people's interests are getting in the way. Like the red flags in our heads, the warning signs in our heads just go off. But when it's
Mm-hmm.
us, There's a saying in Tree that the person who is paving the way does not know when the road is getting crooked.
Yeah.
Sometimes when other people are paving the road, you can be like, oh my god, you call this a straight line? This is so crooked. But when you're the one paving the road, right? Sometimes when you're the one whose actions are affecting people, like Humphrey is saying, you need a lot of self-awareness,
Self-awareness.
being
Awareness.
present, being able to analyze actions and situations. Sometimes and it's so funny. There are a lot of signs of this in history and all that. You go to people and you lay a story in front of them, right? If what would you do in this situation? And you tell them a story, and they would give you such a detailed analysis of the problem. Oh,
Mhm.
the person should know this. They should see that and this is how you should approach this. And when you're done, you tell them, well, that is you and I. Remember Nathan and David? Like, what happens
Yes.
when someone goes and takes someone's goat? You have to do this. Da, da, da. Like, well, yeah,
Mhm.
you. So sometimes that self-awareness is not there. We're able to look at everybody's flaws and show them whatever they can do to fix it. But when it
Mhm.
comes to us, we're so blind. We're
Yep.
so blind. Like we're
Yep.
picking we're picking specks from people's eyes when we have boulders in our own eyes. And so I really want us to have that thing, right? That when you notice that your actions are becoming an issue, how do you go about it? It's key. And sometimes it's it's that thing that buys you that grace. If people are going to extend grace towards you, is the fact that you've even taken that step, that being self-aware. This thing I did was not cool. And like Amanda said, start acting right. When you start acting right, yes, people will still have a bitter taste in their mouth, but
Mhm.
give them something else. Like give them something else to know you by. It's very key. Kwesinya, hey, producer is in the building. Producer, I hope you're doing well. Producer, Kwesi is saying there's always a justification for your action that makes sense
That's
to
true.
you.
To you.
That's true.
And might not be the same for
Different.
others.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely. And sometimes justifications, it really sometimes muddies the waters.
Yeah.
Like that thing we call justification, that thing. Sometimes it's better to not have like I'm sorry. Just I'm sorry. But the people who follow, and I hate those kind of apologies. I'm really sorry I offended you, but I was really hungry and I needed really. So you should have just ended at I'm sorry. Like, don't go beyond I'm sorry. Yeah, it sounds good in your head, but dude, no,
And and
no.
and and I'm sorry if I offended you.
Oh my god, that one, the conditional one. If you say I offended you, I'm sorry. Really? I
This,
didn't
this
say
is this
that.
is some of the reasons why I don't like apology, because why are you even coming to start if I offended you? What do you mean
If you
if
didn't like what I said,
you didn't like what I said? What do you mean if?
if you took offense in what I said, well, I'm sorry. Is that well for me? Well, I'm sorry. You don't have to be sorry. Be sorry for yourself. Yeah, justifications and all that. Rashid is saying exactly, Kujo. The evidence of change or remorse is what should be in you making up. Should be in your makeup and reorientation,
Or reorientation, not in
not in
discussing the need
discussing the need
to
for change or the promise of change. Yeah, I get that. And I would come to AY's thing, right? Sometimes
change.
the promise of change is good. Yes, the action is great. And I learned this lesson the hard way. I may or may not share the story, but I'm not one for the whole let's talk about it thing. I would rather you show. But I learned the hard way that sometimes you have to show and tell. Because sometimes you are showing, but people are not seeing what you are showing.
Seeing, yeah.
And so sometimes you have to be like, listen, I am going to go left. Look at me going left. See me turning left. And I have turned left and I am going down.
No, no,
No, sometimes in life we have to be like GPS. At the next junction, I'm going to go left. And it's a beautiful thing. I think it was one of the things we talked about on the show, one of the previous episodes. Sometimes the only way to let people trust you, even your friends, your partners, your family, tell them what you're going to do. Almost promise them what you're going to do. And please do it. When you want people to take you serious in negotiation or, even as a friend, don't waste my time or you're not going to get any more of it. Once you make that promise, please don't chicken out. Whenever people take you for granted, just up and leave. Like you have to follow through. And that's why making
yeah.
promises is a big thing. Don't say something you cannot do because if you start reneging on your promises. Nobody takes you serious. Oh, I'm going to change
Yep.
tomorrow. Tomorrow comes and nothing. And so, yes, you can reorient yourself, you can change your actions, and you can take steps to do better. But once you make a promise, keep it. And sometimes promises are important. Changing and telling them about the change. Like sometimes relationships should be like cooking shows. Yes, we're seeing you pour the salt, but sometimes tell us so that we don't go and pour sugar in our thing when we're copying at home.
Exactly. That is
So
why
I
I
think
was
there's a
talking.
need.
That is what I was talking about. Sometimes having it's annoying and it's irritating. Like it's like
Mhm,
you're repeating yourself. Especially
mhm,
people don't go through with their words, right?
mhm.
But I feel like it's more of also you holding yourself accountable. Like I'm like, oh, I say I'm gonna do this. In my head, I've said to somebody, I'm going to do this. I have to do this. But if it's in my head that, oh, I'm going to do this. If I don't do it, who knows?
Yep.
Nobody.
It's not a
I'm
good
not
way to
gonna.
keep yourself accountable. That's
No,
definitely true. That's definitely true. But
right?
I agree
Yeah,
with Rashid. In my opinion, this is how I'd rank them. Actions is right here. Words is
Correct.
right here. But action and words is right up here. Like if you make promises and you keep them, I promise I'm not going to do this again. I promise I'm not going to miss another Manchester United game. And you keep that promise. I respect that. But just saying it, nah, it doesn't mean anything. Anybody can say anything. And so
yeah,
actions are great. Words are here, but words and action, I think I agree with AY. That one is peak. That one is peak levels. Humphrey is saying, and any interest that is in the way of having a healthy interaction with people that matter the most in your life may not be worth it at all.
sure.
Absolutely. I agree. There are a lot of things. And no matter how safe or nice or how much fun you derive from it, it's not worth it if you're losing touch with the people who matter the most. Because in life, I think people are the most important things. The people around you and the moments and the memories and the things you do
Yeah.
together. No interest should supersede that. Um, Maxwell is saying, "Hey, Max, I hope you're doing well, Tiny. It's been a minute. I have to catch up, brother." Maxwell is saying, "Really enjoying today's topic." Maxwell, we're so happy you're here. Thank you so much for joining the show. Thanks for leaving the comments too. We really appreciate it. And my boss is in the building. Michael is in the
Michael
building.
is always giggling.
Michael, I miss you though. We have to have a conversation. It's been a minute since I spoke to Michael, so I'd have to
Michael is
go look for
always
Michael.
giggling.
Max is laughing. I don't know what we said that made everybody laugh, but Humphrey is also laughing. Max is saying the particular statement Kujo just made is very strong. People feel they need to explain more to address the apology. Just saying sorry may not let you feel better for the wrongdoing. Yes, but sometimes, and not always, sometimes it should just end at sorry. Sometimes even the apology shouldn't even make you feel better. Sometimes we apologize because one is the right thing to do, and two is the way to open the door for further discussion. You apologize. Sometimes even the discussion may not. Personally, if someone apologizes, sometimes I don't want to go into whatever it is they're apologizing for almost immediately. Let's let that sit. Let's let it go, and then we can talk about it later. And so yes, I agree. Sometimes it's a cliffhanger. Just apologize, say your apology, and move on. Sometimes, and sometimes you meet great people. I don't know if you or Chris has ever met those people, where later they'll ask you, so why did you do what you did? And maybe at that point they're not even asking to be upset or anything, just trying to understand you. Maybe you can talk, right? But not, I'm sorry, but this is why I did what I did. No, sometimes they don't want to know. Tao is in the building. Tao said, could you
Ah,
translated the proverb wrong? Tao, please give me the correct translation. It is the person cutting the road
The
doesn't
road
know his
is
back is crooked.
quicker.
Okay, for those of you who heard my earlier proverb, apparently I didn't translate it well. So this is the real translation. The person cutting the road
Kato was
don't
rude.
see that his back
His
is
back
crooked.
is
The person cutting the road don't see that his back is crooked. Make of that whatever you want. But Tao, it's so amazing to hear from you again. I hope you're doing well. Send my love to Duke. We're going to go on into the second part of this conversation, and then we might wrap it up. And guys, I have something for you guys before we go into the very final segment of this.
Hmm.
Last week, those of you who were here with us, I know Humphrey was here, Michael, Tao was here. We had a little show. Now we're going to make it a recurring segment. So before going to the very final question of the day, I have one for you guys. Someone sent us in during the week and wants to know if they've been a bad friend. And so now for our loyal Kasa listeners, we're going to have that segment, Am I a Bad Friend, on every show. So if you have any questions, if you have any things you want us to discuss, please send them to me. And if you and Chris would get the debate going, because today I want to hear, and you guys can't take the same sides. I'm telling you before the hand. So once someone takes the one position, you should know you're debating the other point, regardless. But now let's get into whenever our partners are the ones at fault, their interest is getting in the way. They may or may not be aware of it. And Tao, I'm going to use another proverb right now because I want you to translate it for me. And please, this is for Tao. Tao, the proverb I want to use is Memfa bimdie enkudifo. Memfa bimdie enkudifo. I would translate it as don't lose from a winning position. That is how I would translate it. Sometimes, even when our partners are at fault, the way we approach it can be so problematic that we may hold the winning hand and still find a way to mess it up. We have egg in our face. And so, guys, when our partners are the ones doing things like having their, not fulfilling their commitments because of certain interests, right? Like your partner likes going out and partying, but every Saturday morning they're able to wake up and go for a hike. But for like 2 months, they're always so hangover. You see them on Sunday. They go out on Friday and they re-emerge on Sunday. How do you approach it? What are some of the safe ways to approach this? And please, I really need to know your thoughts in the comment section. It's important to me because there are so many times I've had egg in my face. When people are wronging me, I'm the one being wronged. But I go to talk about it and then they turn the cards. Oh my God, I feel so persecuted. Oh my God, how could you? You didn't know the sleeping is a good thing. So guys, please help me out. AY, Chris, how do we go about it?
This is a hard one.
Because me, I have plenty of people I need to go and talk to. Me, I have plenty of people. So please give me the keys to go and talk to them.
I think the first step to this is getting comfortable with things that are not comfortable. That is where you start from. You know, if you're going to talk about this, the person might turn it around and make you feel like the bad person. But be okay with that. And then
Be okay being a bad person.
yeah, that's the start. Be very okay. Be very comfortable.
Sometimes I'm
with
like, I
being,
didn't hear if yeah, what.
be very comfortable with being called mean or terrible or that. But what you should do approaching the issue is be empathetic. If I say put yourself in the person's shoe, it's not gonna work because I don't do that. So you try and be.
Is it because your feet are too small?
How mind you? So you try to be kind in the words you choose, and you know, like more like have a conversation, or like trying to argue. Right? That is where you be very empathetic in how you approach the issue. And don't start it like you're trying to argue. That's what I hate in conversation. Like try like you want to talk about something and you're looking for a solution. We are talking about it to find a common ground. I'm not trying to win or trying to lose. But then the whole beginning is be okay. The person can see a very mean person. The person can cry and be like, "Oh, I didn't,
God.
be comfortable with that."
Look, if you're a boy, listen, please, guys. Some of what she's saying, don't be comfortable with being a mean person. If you're a boy, is just mean, and so
Look,
she thinks we should just accept it. If yeah, what you do is not right,
what do you mean by
nobody
I
is going to.
mean?
Okay, I would just let it be because you can't put yourself in other people's shoes. Again, you wear a size 2.
No.
Please don't be
Kojo,
okay
no.
with it. But Efia is recommending that you should be okay with being seen as the bad person. She lives her life seen as the bad person. But my translation my translation came in. Tao, thank you so much for the translation. For those of you who didn't hear, the proverb was Enfabimdi enkodifo. Enfabimdi enkodifo. And Song translated it as don't exchange plenty for only 4. Please, it's nowhere near it, but we take Sean's translation. Don't exchange plenty only for. But the proverb loosely translates as don't lose from a winning position. When you're dealt a winning hand, don't lose just because you don't,
There's
follow
nothing
the
wrong
rule.
with winning by losing, by the way. Just lose. Whatever is gonna happen, lose.
If you're a boy, it does not. If you're there, oh my God, Chris, talk to me. How do we approach this? How do we come from that place where we have a sound, solid case and win the case, or have that conversation? Not
Yeah, I think uh, with this issue, we in one of our episodes, in one of our episodes, we had a conversation about listening, conversations, and all that. And I think approaching whoever it is in a very assertive way, or not.
Look, there's no
I
winning
don't.
point in this. I promise
I
you.
don't-
You have to be the only way is be comfortable being called a wicked person. For just 5 minutes, 20 minutes,
if
it's
you're if you're
fine.
if you're a
no,
boy
I
sitting
mean,
here like there's no way. People are
no.
sending in ways, but
There are better ways than just to be. I mean,
mean.
be harsh or be
That's
mean
Just
and all
because
that.
someone
Yeah,
wronged you. Just because
no,
wrong
someone
you.
wronged
Yeah.
you.
no. Listen. You're not being mean, right? You
Hmm.
approach the issue with, kindness and everything. But
Yeah.
in your head, be comfortable that this, even if I'm even kind, whatever, I approach it with the most grace in the world. I could be called mean, and with that, be okay.
Of course. I mean, if you know you are doing right on your parts,
There you
right,
go.
that's fine.
Now that is the only thing. That is the only clause in there. If you know you're doing right on your part, and for me, that is unacceptable. If you're going to build healthy relationships, sometimes you should do right by others, and sometimes, in some cases, especially for your partners or your family, sometimes do right by them. You should, and it's cool. Some people, and we all have that family member who doesn't care what people think about them, and they're often the straight uncles and aunts. They give it to you straight. And half the things they say is very true. Like, they're not even trying to hurt your feelings, they're giving you the truth. But we know when to call those people, don't we? Like, sometimes there are a lot of issues you won't go and talk to them. For me, when I go looking for that aunt or uncle, I mean, it's like, this is the point of no return. Like, at this point, I'm ready to take mean people, and I'll take all the meanness. And I need,
No.
no, I'm just saying, some people are like that. We would avoid you if we can. Like, I know that what you're saying might be right, but
Yeah.
if you're okay with being called mean, you're not being delicate enough. Let me read some of the comments, and then if I'll come back to you. I need to hear a few more about being mean. Quincy Frost, Mr. Frost, man, we miss you in the studio. You really should be back in the studio very soon. Mr. Frost, sending so much love your way. He's saying, stay dangerous, guys. Quincy told you so. Quincy, we're here. We'll try and stay dangiros. He said, time will vindicate me. Quincy Frost, we don't know why you're dropping all these
Why?
cryptic messages in there, but whatever time is going to vindicate you, we need to hear more. Humphrey is giving us a clue. If Yaebwa thought she had a foolproof plan, but
Okay.
Humphrey is saying, step one, wear a turtleneck. Step two, get a clipboard. Step three, get your glasses. And step four, this is the most important one. Ask the person this question. Do you think you have a healthy life interest balance? Honey, sit down. This is me with a clipboard. Let me put on my glasses. 1 minute. Do you think you sitting there right now have a healthy, with me and my clipboard, have a healthy interest life balance? And whatever the answer is, can start a good conversation. If they say yes, you ask them why. If they say no, you ask them why. And then you have that conversation. It's such a very, and to me, I think this cannot go wrong. If nothing at all, your partner can get a good kick out of it. It
You
can go, it can
guys,
be very funny.
you people
Or
really
you can use an activity
underestimate.
sheet. you can print out an activity sheet.
Yep.
You
Yep.
people
Or
really
even have a
under
couple of questions in there. You can even start
Yeah.
name,
listen, you guys
gender.
underestimate the
Um,
power of people turning things around. You do. You really underestimate people, and that's the issue. Look, you think you've done the best thing. Like, oh, I don't think it doesn't work. If the
yeah,
person
yeah,
is
yeah.
going to turn things
Via,
around,
how are
they
you
will
saying?
do it.
Have you ever worn a turtleneck, a clipboard, and grabbed a clipboard?
I've not
And
tried
so, if
it
you haven't, how dare you? How dare you come and tell
because
Humphrey?
those that have tried it are still in the
Oh
loop.
my God!
If you stay
Wait.
positive.
Again, go and try it first. For me, I don't like the people who look at things on TV. Chris, they watch a cooking show on TV. I mean, that bread isn't going to be nice. Oh, that
Nice.
food is not. No, no, we don't make it first. Just make it. We don't want your opinion before you've made it. And so please, and I think again, if nothing at all, you can get a good laugh out of it. Putting that effort in to put on a whole costume to come and ask your questions. If my partner did that, no matter what question it was, it's going to be funny. If you know, and sometimes it's a little spice. Don't always start conversations with, you know what you've done, right? Sometimes just start with very lovely setups. Get a costume.
Oh,
You can even be a health
you,
inspector. Get your stethoscope and your lab coat and let's go. If nothing at all, we can get a good laugh out of it. Chris, you had something to add.
no, I'm also saying, I mean, approaching with, you don't even know what you did wrong.
Oh my God, that one kills me. And the silent treatment and all the fun stuff. Kwesi is saying, personally, I think apologies
It's a
me
mean
is a
for
means
the
for
offender to
to forgive
forgive
themselves.
themselves. Yeah.
Do you want to read a comment for me?
No, because you were stuck. I
Oh
was
yeah, I was
helping
struggling. Yeah, I know. I thought you were going to carry
you.
it through because
No.
you did halfway. Okay, personally, because he's saying, personally, I think apologies is a means for the offender to forgive themselves. In as much as you could be hurt, you should assume the person doesn't.
The person might
The person might interpret it as
might
might interpret.
might
Um,
not
um,
interpret the same events that way. Like the person will not take it that way.
you see, I told you to finish this. I'm really struggling with this one. Thank you so much, AY. And Kwesi, thanks for the comment. I get the spirit, right? Yeah, apologies help the offender, the person who wronged you, to also be able to forgive themselves and make amends, right? And it's
But I
good.
disagree though. I
And
really
yes,
disagree.
you should also assume that yeah, you might be hurt, but the person is also going through something. And then when you have
How are
seen
you the offender and you want us to consider your feelings?
offenders have feelings too. Let's move on. Humphrey, let me see, guys. Ifia is not saying be mean. She's saying you should be mean. As in, do what the average person would do. Rashid, this Boo Hive thing won't help you. Being an advocate for Efia Yeboah is it's a losing position. When Efia starts the show, she decides to make her case as difficult as possible for her, to the point where she even says that do what? How can you have feelings when you've offended someone? Is that what you said?
Someone.
I,
Yeah.
is it
You are
Rashid?
going to apologize and you are putting yourself there that, oh, it's to help me. What do you
Listen,
mean it's to help me?
Rashid, don't ever defend Efia Yeboah. It's not. She won't. It won't help you. Efia, try a Google survey. Worst case scenario, they will rant at their phones. Yes. If you think clipboards won't help you, just do a Google survey and send it to your partner. Worst case scenario, I mean, they're going to be like, not again. Kwesi Frost is saying we need to have difficult conversations sometimes. Absolutely. An emphasis on sometimes. If all the person is getting from you is difficult conversations every day, it loses its power. Okay. Rashid is saying, dope line of questioning, Humphrey. So I have the glasses and I can get the clipboard. But my problem is, I don't know where to get the turtleneck. Rashid, Rashid, let's do something. No, guys, let's not laugh. Rashid wants to put this in practice. Rashid, I'd find the turtleneck and I'd send it to you on only one condition. That whenever you wear that turtleneck, again, we're going to brand it with Kasa Podcast. We're going to put Kasa Podcast in the front and in the back. But whenever you wear it and you take that clipboard and send us a video so we can play on the show. If you agree, just drop a thumbs up and I'm going to find that turtleneck. Give me the color and we're going to find it. We're going to get the Kasa in there and you're going to do this because, again, that's what we do here at the tribe. We have these conversations and we get great ideas. And Humphrey has given me a great idea. Next time I offend someone or someone offends me and I want to have a difficult conversation, I'm bringing that clipboard. The glasses are already here. The turtlenecks, I have a couple and I have them in different colors. So I just asked them, which one do you want? And then we're going to go, I'll try the survey thing. It's good. Kwesi saying, Brofe is not easy. I should be writing. Yes, you should be writing German. And I'm going to try. Please send a comment in German, Kwesi. Send a comment in German and I'm going to read it flawlessly. I promise it's going to be flawless. Give me your toughest German words. And I'm going to read that comment flawlessly. And if you're here and you have a comment in any different language other than English and Tree, try me. I'm good at that. I want to see multiple comments. And if you're watching the replay, it's not too late. Leave that comment in the comment section. I'm going to read it on the next show. But guys, we're going to wrap up on this segment because we're almost running out of time. And we have to get into certain interest that is going to make our lives a lot difficult coming up next week. FPL is going to make our lives very difficult. I want us to look at the teams one more time and then we can get into that and invite people to join that. And so before then, I promised you guys, I have another Am I a Bad Friend for you. Chris versus Efia. Am I a bad friend? That's the segment. And for those who don't know what Am I a Bad Friend is, please watch last week's episode. Please do yourself that favor and watch last week's episode. And this one is going to be a very short one, very simple one. But this person really wants to know if they've been a bad friend. Mm-hmm. Guys, am I a bad friend? She asked me not to be in her wedding pictures, as I would make her look bad. I'm too gorgeous. I'm going to make her look bad in her own wedding pictures. I was the maid of honor. I ended our friendship. I removed her from her own bridesmaid group. And we all left. All the bridesmaids just boycotted the wedding. Am I a bad friend? Your friend asks you to be her bridesmaid. Then she tells you, listen, at the wedding,
she's not a bad friend.
Don't show up in any of these pictures looking that gorgeous. You look like this. You're going to make me look bad. So don't even show up. You can be my bridesmaid, but don't show up in any of the weddings. Girl's like, okay. So she cancels all the plans she has for the wedding. The WhatsApp group she's created with all the bridesmaids, she removed the person doing the wedding, like, you've been removed by the admin. And then everybody disbanded. Is this person a bad friend?
No, not at all.
Tell us why.
If I'm not supposed to be in the picture, why?
But how are you going to show up at someone's wedding and make the person look bad? It's a day, not yours.
Let her show up first. You don't even know what she'll wear. The wedding has no... You don't even know the dress she's
It's really not about what you wear. It's your face. You're too gorgeous.
No, that's so wrong. So how are they going to take videos of the wedding and then blur her out? Well, how is it going to be like?
Nobody knows. Grace.
Exactly.
Is that a bad friend? Grace, you have a tough job. Am I a bad friend for doing that?
No. If you're no, I'm not. No, you're not, she's not a bad friend.
Didn't Efia say the same thing?
Yeah,
what did you say?
Efia said.
Yeah, that's what Efia said. So I'm sorry.
She's not a bad friend.
That was Efia's response. Oh, yeah. Okay. Oh, yeah. I mean,
Chris is confused.
I mean, this position, nobody can say she's a bad friend.
She's a bad friend. I think
Why?
She's a bad friend.
Why?
Listen, we all have that friend. And if you don't, you are that friend who is, you know how they say monkeys play by sizes. Some monkeys get to play under 17 when they are only 12. It's fine. But when that friend is getting married, what you don't do is show up and show off. And I'm saying this, young men on here, at my wedding, if you come looking more handsome than me, you're walking out. And if you're a young woman and you walk up to my wedding and you're looking more gorgeous than my wife, please, ushers, see the person. What is this? How can you come and shame me at my own wedding?
You people have issue. That's the
Yes,
start of
yes,
the pro-
yes.
So
We
you
do.
know your friend is gorgeous, yet you chose her to be the bridesmaid, and then said
That
that
is
I
the
don't
only
want to
problem she
see
had.
her.
That is
I
the
don't
only
want to
problem
see
she
her in
made.
the video.
That is the only mistake she made, making her the bridesmaid. Someone like that is for the protocol table. Like no, nowhere near the pictures.
You put her in the protocol table. Wow.
Maybe usher.
You people have issues.
Nah, they'll be at home cooking. They'll be making the wedding jollof.
Hey. Here I did.
I don't get it. Like, how am I a bad friend? You can't come and out wedding me in my wedding. You know how, I don't know, Chris, have you seen that tradition where on the day of the wedding, at the engagement, they'll bring the girl's friends or her sisters and they have the veil. So the guy would unveil and be like, this is not her.
Yeah.
What if this gorgeous woman ends up being the one of the people and the guy opens and is like, this is her.
Are you serious right now? Are you serious?
I don't
I
think
mean,
the girl did
she
anything
did a
wrong.
perfect thing. She took her out of the WhatsApp group, dissolved the group, and then went about her day. That I don't even think of any. That she did the best thing. She
Rashid is
really
saying,
did
I
the
cannot
best thing.
decide because there's no friendship. Why are you insecure about your friend's looks in the first place?
It doesn't even make sense.
Rashid, I told you, if you don't have one of those friends, then you are one of those, you're that friend. We all have that friend. Like, you in your friend group, monkeys play by size. So, everybody's like around the 4 and the 5. Then we have that 9 walking and wants to be our friend. Initially, we don't want him to be our friend, but we see the perks, right? We see the good things that come. That guy is not being the bridesmaid. Look, I mean,
But
and
she
even
chose her to be her bridesmaid.
she made a
She
mistake.
went ahead,
She made
chose
a mistake.
her, and now you want me out of the pictures when I have paid for hair,
It's not that
made
hard.
my hair,
No,
my
I
lash
think
done, nails done,
I think
custom made dress.
she wanted her to lighten up the location, but not the pictures.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And guys, we're going to go into the last segment, right? I will read a couple of the comments, but my German comment is here. The German comment is here. I'm going to take a stab at it. But before then, the Lali is saying sometimes you just have to play the devil's advocate. Yes. Efia tries to play the devil's advocate, but she is not really the devil's advocate. If anything, she's the one the devil advocates for. She has the devil in this category. Okay. Rashid, whispers to myself, yay, another free attire. Next on the list, get a Kasa branded phone. And we can get you a Kasa branded iPhone 15 Pro Max or all you have to do is pay us three easy payments of $5,999.99, and we would get you that. 3 easy payments of $5,999 every month. My German comment is in. Cuisine said, ich glaube, kranken ist Menschen. Waschen ist Artin ist hoffen als fast. Okay, so we move on. I know my German voice is rather interesting. And for those of you who didn't understand that, see me for German classes. I teach German on Fridays, 1 hour, and it's only a cool $10 a session. Humphrey is saying her friend was bad, but her response, oh wow, girl, you're extra. Yes, the friend was bad, but Humphrey, we all do this. AY, don't you know that? Maybe you may not know this, but even among guys, right? Your best man shouldn't be taller than you, shouldn't be like, star. We select, and so I get the mistake was selecting, but maybe she didn't have a lot of options. Like, if she's this insecure, if sometimes you feel you people have to be considerate. If she's this insecure, she probably doesn't have a lot of friends. She may probably not have had anyone to
Nobody
give.
cares what she has or
If you're a
doesn't
boy and
have.
this no, but Efia is so vicious. And you people wonder why I say the devil advocates for her. She is so mean. Like Efia makes the devil go hard.
How am
Like
I
Efia
even
finishes
mean?
and the devil
Like
is like,
you people are saying this. You are taking a position and you think I'm the mean one here.
listen,
Somebody is able to tell her friend, I don't want to see you in my pictures, and
in the
I'm the
wedding
mean
pictures, not
one.
at the wedding. Don't just show up in the
No,
pictures.
the pictures are forever.
Exactly. My kids are going to see me
At,
and then we'll see the pictures and ask the dad, really?
at the
Really?
wedding, people will just see her, and that will be it.
You see,
But in the
the
pictures,
husband would be
And I'm
saying,
the vicious one, guys. Are you
yes,
listening to both of
yes,
them?
you are. You are
Hey,
vicious.
God.
Rashid is saying, I cannot decide, okay, because the friendship, why are you that insecure? I only have one word, petty.
That's not
Yep.
petty, you guys.
Yep.
That is not petty. If she was going to be petty, she would have gone for a husband. She was not petty.
Oh, for those of you again, the for those of you who want to know the meaning of this, I do you guys want me to tell you what it means?
What does it mean?
Do you want me to tell you what it means?
Yeah, what does it mean?
To err is human. To forgive is what?
Divine.
Okay. And
Hey, and that's the boy. Okay. Oh.
yeah, you see, you have to take my classes. And guys, it's not that my German is that impeccable. Chrissy sent me the answer, and so
I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. I just knew
Chrissy,
it.
thank you for having my back all the time.
I
He's had my
knew
back
it.
all the time. Let's read a few of the comments and then let's go on to the last one. Delali is here. Delali, it's been a minute. Delali, I hope you're doing well. I've read a couple of your comments, but I hope you're doing well. And thanks for joining the show once again. And for those of you in here, if you've not done that, today we're trying to get 50 likes on this video. So please don't forget to drop a like. And if you're watching the rerun during the week, we need those likes. We're trying to get, did I say 50 or 100?
100.
We're getting 100. We're getting 100 likes on this video. And if we get 100 likes on this video, next week we're going to give away a free Kasa shirt. We're going to do that for every video we get 100 likes on. We're going to have, and I think, guys, hear me out here. I think I vote for Humphrey to get the next free Kasa shirt. If you are, do you agree?
I agree.
Chris, do you agree?
I
Chris,
agree.
so I think unanimously, Humphrey is going to get the next Kasa shirt, right? All we have to do is get 100 likes on this video. And Humphrey, it's in your court. Please, let's do that. We're getting 100 thumbs ups on this one. And if you haven't done that yet, please leave the thumbs up and let's get Humphrey that shirt. He needs to look good in his Kasa shirt. But yeah, Delali is saying, but there are more than meets the eye with this scenario. There's definitely a third person involved. Interesting. Maybe the husband said something. Maybe the husband made a comment. Maybe at the wedding reception, the guy was like, no. But I've heard people have issues with their partners, like at the dress rehearsal and something. Like some people make some very senseless like comments, right? Oh my gosh, that your friend looks very gorgeous. Dude, we're getting married. You can't be. Listen, honey, I'm sorry. You can't be here. You can't be around. Like, what's that thing called? That thing they go to court to get restraining order. Like, yeah, restraining order from this jackass of a husband I'm getting. Like, sometimes it could be. We don't know. Bro, I have that friend, Papa. But thing is, when you grow up, you realize no one is perfect and looks aren't enough.
Looks alone are not enough.
Yeah. I was going to say something, but I would have been a fair boy. It would have sounded a little mean. But we know the people who say looks alone are not. Moving on. Yeah. If you makes the devil emotional. If you everybody will know you. Everybody will know if you.
Humphrey, you are my friend.
Akosia is in the building. Akosia, I hope you're doing well.
Wow.
Yeah, it's been a minute. But yeah, if you make the devil emotional. If you say something and the devil is like, oh my God. And then the devil remembers it is the devil, like, oh my devil. You make the devil confused. Okay, see, if you are the pretty friend, Please marry first. True. True. So that you can have a lot of people behind. If you're the tall, handsome, attractive friend, get married. So that all as the short dwarfs would be your best men. But if you get married last, you're going to have an issue, right? That's what's going to happen. Humphrey, number one influencer. I think Humphrey is the number one influencer. He's going to get his 100. I agree. Humphrey should get it. So when we get the 100 plus likes, he gets a free shirt. Don't leave
100
me.
like
Don't leave me. Okay, bye. We will leave you. We will leave you right here. Guys, really quick. We're going to breeze through those fantasy league teams, right? Because the Premier League starts next week. And I know it's going to be one of those interests that's going to cause a lot of trouble for people in their relationships. If your partner gets so into their fantasy team that they start supporting the opponents against you, you're a Liverpool fan like Humphrey, and Chelsea is playing, and because your partner has all these Chelsea attackers, she's praying that they score against you. It can really put a strain on the relationship. Like if you go and take Haaland and Man City is playing Man U, and you walk near me and you come and talk about Haaland scoring, maybe I'll drop your phone in the bottom of the Hudson. And so, yes, we're going to get in there. And if you've not done that yet, the Kasa Podcast League is about to begin. The Fantasy League. The code is AM4FFZ. Alpha Mango 4. Hey, my word for 4F was going to be bad. Yeah. Again, let me take the code again. AM4FFZ. It's Alpha Mango 4 Frank Zebra. Alpha Mango 4 Frank Zebra. Ifeanyi was already thinking about the word I was going to use for the F.
I was not thinking. I was not even thinking.
That's good. Okay, so we're going to quickly dive through the fantasy leagues and the teams, and then quickly get through them. Chris, we have Chris's team on the table. Chris, walk us through it. We see a lot of changes. The last time we were here, you did not have your team up. So, What have you done? What have you been doing since we left? Let me do this so that we can research. Okay, so walk us through it. Walk us through what you have.
Yeah, I mean, upon consulting the oracles and backing it with research, this is the winning team.
Sheesh.
A winning team.
Sheesh.
Yeah,
winning team, eh? Tell us more.
No one should copy my team. I think.
No one should copy it.
At this point, I have to copy your team.
You let us know. I mean, it's on the show, so everybody's going to copy it. And if you haven't set up your team yet, please take some of Chris's advice. Chris, why did you spend the money, the 100 million, this way? What is your motivation? What are you thinking?
Yeah, I'm thinking of points.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, basically points. People, players that can win points easily, and for my captain and vice captain, I mean, it's obvious, Haaland and Salah.
But Chris,
for
mm-hmm.
and then for the
finish up.
Yeah, for the defenders, you see Stone, Shaw, Trippier, and then Bell. I don't know much about Bell, but I mean, based on my research,
Ish.
it said Bell can do something for me. So
So we should all ring his bell, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. I looked at your team and you're telling me you're looking for points, but I don't see points. When I look at this team, it screams uncertainty. You have Salah and Darwin Núñez who are facing Chelsea on the first day. That's not guaranteed points. Salah maybe, Núñez absolutely not. And Mbeumo is playing Tottenham. I don't know how you're getting points. Caicedo doesn't even know which team he's going to be playing for.
Who is Well, this is the winning team, please.
I don't see the points you're talking about. Okay,
you're not supposed to see it.
You have Luke Shaw. Okay, well, let me keep quiet. Okay, this is mine. Let's go to Efia's own. Efia, talk to us.
That's my team.
Talk to us.
Of course.
Are you also thinking points?
Yeah, points, points, points.
Okay.
I decided to get.
Chris, they laugh. Chris, they laugh.
I decided
Oh,
to
no,
keep.
I'm not laughing at the team. No, no,
Hmm.
no, 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 no.
Oh, you're
Okay.
laughing
Oh.
at my team.
No, no, no. I said I'm not laughing at your team. It's a good
Ah,
team. Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
okay.
Ewa,
Oh,
you
my
walk
team
us through
is
it.
my team is a winning team. I mean,
Hmm.
so I try to keep a player on each. At the defense, someone that is like always giving points. Midfield, someone that is like constantly giving points, and then the forwards to So Haaland, I know
Hmm.
even if he is hurt,
Hmm.
he's going to be my captain.
Hmm.
I'm not replacing that guy. And then, oh, I'm supposed to change the vice captain too. I'm still thinking. I'll do that. I'm still considering what to do. Salah, I forced my way. I don't know how I got him and then Rashford on the same team, but
Hmm.
I was thinking of replacing a match. Their first next 3 games is pretty like good. Green, 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 green. So I'm like,
Okay.
I don't know who Baptist is, but the money I had left, I needed to find someone.
And that's why I want to look at your bench, right? It looks like you on your bench, you've just sacrificed everything. You don't need any bench points because Brandon Williams is not probably going to even suit up. I don't even think he's going to the stadium.
I don't even the bench people don't
Exactly.
count.
You
The
have,
100 million was not even enough
but you have
to
players in
get
your
what
team
I.
that you don't know, and then your bench is just,
No,
Phillips is
the
not good.
bench. No, the bench is like players that do not play, and then I just needed to spend the least amount of
Amount of
money.
money. Okay.
Exactly. So, but
Okay.
since I saw he's done some 1 or 2 things, I'm like,
Huh.
okay, if I'm gonna get Salah
Didn't
and
they
Rush,
just sign him?
I don't know. I honestly
I
don't
think
know.
he's a new
Look,
player.
after I got the players I was trying to get
It
in.
looks like you're trying to get Haaland and Salah and Rashford in your team, and then Saka. And then
Yes.
after that, you just put anything around them,
No,
and
no,
you
no.
think you'll be
Trippier,
fine.
Trippier was like a permanent person. White, my top defenders have not changed. It's been like that since I got them. Like I'm not
So,
planning
so,
to
so
change
let me
any of
get this
them.
Trippier thing. I know in his first 3 games, if I'm not
Hmm.
mistaken, he's playing Aston Villa, he's
Hmm.
playing Chelsea, he's playing Man City,
You
and so
know,
he has like 2 reds and then
hmm
1 gray because Aston Villa is like a toss up.
the thing with Trippier is even if they lose a game, he still get points.
Okay.
This is based on last season's
Hmm.
performance. I don't
And
know
that was
how
last season's Newcastle.
that was last season's Newcastle. So he
This
could
season's
he
Newcastle has
it
sold
could be
everybody, and
different, right? But he's just a player I would always want on my team.
okay.
Not De Bruyne. Haaland is also a player that I'll always
Mhm.
want to be regardless of what. For Salah, I'm not so sure. But from last season he did a lot. So I'm like, let me just keep him there. And he's a valuable player. So if I don't want him, he's like 12.5 freaking million pounds.
Okay.
I would get people
You
to
can
replace.
always downgrade.
Exactly. I could always get
Akosia,
that.
for some reason, Akosia is saying, I believe in a fierce team. And
Yeah, this is to you.
hopefully come next week, we would have some of the games played because the game is starting on Friday. We'd have the Saturday games. We might even have some of the Sunday games done. And so we'll see. We'll see. Um Humphrey saying Williams can't find a spare of his boots.
Yeah, I
The
thought
other
Humphrey
guy
was
saw,
my
saw
friend. I
bread at the
promise.
stadium.
I promise. I thought Humphrey was my friend. Humphrey, we are not
Humphrey,
cool again.
if you're a boy,
Wait,
apparently your people sell bread at the stadium. Now this is my team. Oh. This is what I finally ended up with. And
let's
it's
see.
because it's very different from the team I had the last time we were here. Again,
Oh, why do you have Bruno?
I, I have always had Bruno. I always had Bruno in my team,
Hmm.
even the last time we showed. So Raya, I thought he was going to leave, but it doesn't look like he's going anywhere. I thought Chelsea would come get him, right? Edward left, and Chelsea has been talking about getting him. But because I know that if they get him, he's going to be on the bench, and Kepa is going to be. But if they don't get him, and there's a week to time, he might actually start. Brentford is not good at keeping clean sheets. That they. I don't even expect him to keep a clean sheet, but he's a decent use of my money, right? Because I can't afford the people I know will get clean sheets, like
Mm.
the Edisons and the rest, right? In here, I had to let go of Trippier. I looked at his schedule and I'm like, dude, it's too hard. I would get him probably after the international break, maybe week 5, because things get a lot easier, and then I would see a lot more Newcastle.
Mm.
I always have to get 3 Man United players, and it's always been my downfall.
I
That
was just
3 Man
about to
United thing.
say it.
I always have to
It's
get three.
always a downfall, but you don't
Yes,
learn.
I never learn. I'm sorry. I can't
Hmm.
learn. And so, yes, I have my Shaw because he's my safest defender. I have Rashford and I have Bruno. And do you know the funny thing? I know United, it doesn't matter who we're playing, we're going to concede. So clean sheet points are not bad. And Luke Shaw doesn't even assist. I still don't know why I have a Man U defender. I don't know why. If I would change anything in my team, Luke Shaw might drop. Um, Brighton, it's an easy game against Luton. I'm expecting them to do well, but if Estepinen messes up, I'm going for a low wage defender because I need to change this Mateta thing. This guy, he's just
Who
there
is
for
he?
nothing. Mateta was a Crystal Palace striker they brought in last season, right? He doesn't play a lot, but when he plays, he scores. He scores the odd
Come to
goals.
your bench. Why don't you
I'd
place
go,
him?
I'd go, I'd go down there. I'd go down there. I have again, this is just because I'm a Ghanaian. I have Semenyo on my bench, but I'm not expecting him to come in. And the reason why I can't invest in my bench is I always want to have the 5 midfield. I always play 5 midfielders, right? And so my defenders, my starting defenders, I try to get people I think can keep a clean sheet and assist. Zinchenko could assist, he does one of these crosses from time to time. My team and all the money I have, I spent here. These 6 players, these are going to be my team, the mainstay of my team forever. Rashford is going to be in the team forever. Bruno forever, no matter how much they stink. Salah, yes, it's a lot of money, but I'll hold on to him because I'd rather have Salah and Haaland and watch them go for the golden boot than miss out on any of them. And so in my team, this is my thinking, guys. Get Haaland, get Salah, get Rashford, and everything else will fall in place.
You know what? Honestly, I think you should change Salah for De Bruyne.
You have him too. You please go ahead. Please don't come in. Don't come in. Go ahead. You have him too. So yes, these are our teams. These are our teams for the coming season. And guys, the league is about to start. I've already asked you guys predictions on who is going to win the league, who's going to win it all. But today I'm going to just ask a few games and we're going to take a few predictions from the studio. Chris, you're going to predict 5 games. If your boy is going to predict 5 games, and then next week we'll see who did a decent job. Does that sound fair?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Let me see. The Kasa Podcast league already. Oh wow. Oh wow.
What?
The ton of players. We have a ton of players in already. If you've not done that yet, lay low. We have Ajwa Bruce Lee. Chris is in the building. Song is here. Jaju is here. Nana Prempe is here. Raymond is here. Or that dear Kwame Champon. We have such a very tough league in the Kasa Podcast league. And if you have not done that yet, please join the Kasa Podcast league. And again, I'm taking your predictions because I can see Arsenal has beat Man City to win the Community Shield on penalties. But guys, these are the score lines, the games. So I'm going to ask Chris, I'm going to ask you 5 if you have 5. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
Okay, then ladies first. If you're boy, Burnley Man City. That's on Friday. That's the early game. Burnley Man City. Who do you think wins this game?
Of course, Man City.
Arsenal Nottingham Forest. Arsenal is playing at home against Nottingham Forest on opening day weekend. Who wins?
Arsenal.
Arsenal wins. Bournemouth West Ham. Bournemouth West Ham.
A draw.
A draw. Okay. Brighton and Luton. Brighton is playing at home to Luton Town. Luton, not Luton Town.
Brighton.
Brighton wins at home. Okay. And your last game, Everton is playing Fulham at the Goodison. Everton is playing Fulham. Who do you think takes this one?
Everton.
Everton takes this. So if Fia predicts Man City, Arsenal, Bournemouth, Bournemouth, West Ham draw, Brighton, and then Everton winning. Chris, I'm coming to you. Sheffield and Crystal Palace. Sheffield United and Crystal Palace.
Crystal Palace.
Crystal Palace wins.
Crystal Palace to Sheffield 1.
Wow. Wow. Chris is bold. Okay.
Take this with your salary, guys.
Okay.
Take
Okay.
this with your salary.
Newcastle, Aston Villa. That will be the last game on Saturday. Newcastle versus Aston Villa. Who wins?
Newcastle, Aston Villa. It's going to be 1-1.
1-1.
Yeah.
Okay. 1-1 draw. Brentford Spurs. That's going to be the Sunday game. Brentford versus Spurs.
Brentford and Spurs. Spurs 2, Brentford 1.
Okay. Okay. 2-1 score lines from Chris. Okay. And now the last game. This is the game we're going to watch just before we get to the studio because it's at 10:30 next Sunday morning. Chelsea versus Liverpool. Chelsea's playing at home, opening the season with Liverpool. Who do you think wins this?
It's going to be 3-2.
Against
Liverpool 3, Chelsea 2.
Wow, it's going to be full of goals at Stamford Bridge. Liverpool is going to go to the bridge and win. And
Over 3.5, guys. Over
Yep,
3.5.
looks like it. And then the last game of the week would be Manchester United against Wolves on Monday. Who do you think wins that one?
It's going to be 2-0.
For
Manchester United 2, Wolves 0.
Thank you for the words so sweet, Chris. Of all the predictions, this is what makes me know that you are in the spirit. You're connected to the football gods. And I can't believe it. You have such a talent, Chris.
Keep the score line.
I will keep the score line.
Keep the score line.
I will
and
keep the
review it next week.
We will review it. We will review it.
Yeah,
But guys, that has been the Kasa Podcast. That's been our show today. We talked about when interests get in the way, and we dived at the tail end. We just dove into some of our own interest, which is the Fantasy Premier League. But thank you so much for joining the conversation. Thank you so much for making the show what it is. If you're your boy, as always, gorgeous and making the show as fun as possible, and always making the devil get some emotions, according to Humphrey. Chris, you're always the top guy, my guy, CK, with your minion behind you and your Kasa Podcast merch. Thank you so much, guys, for making this show a wonderful one. And once again, from us here at the Tribe, it's
Bye.
bye.